I know from personal experience that if I don't take the time to set up my camera properly when I first get my hands on it, I run the risk of ruining my photos or my entire shoot or my entire day. Please just grab your camera and follow along, because I'm gonna go through the settings that I change and the things that I make sure I change about my camera every time I get a new one. And that's pretty frequently when you're testing cameras. This video is sponsored by Professional Photographers of America. Join a community of over 30,000 photographers, including equipment insurance, education, and business tools made specifically for small business owners like you. All right, so the first setting, these are not in order, but the first one I'm going to start with is turning off the setting shoot without a memory card or lens. And basically that setting is usually on by default, and it means that if you don't have a memory card, you can just shoot anyway. And I can't tell you how many times I've tried to take photos and gone to review them and realized I don't have a memory card. We got to Chelsea-proof the situation. That setting can also keep your camera from detecting a third-party lens or an adapter, and you might not remember that setting in the future and put your new third-party lens on and wonder what the problem is. So as soon as you get your camera, turn that setting off. Number 2 of my ordered yet not ordered settings to change is to definitely take the time to set the time and date. If your camera's new, it's going to prompt you to set your time and date. If your camera's used and it's new to you, then it might be something that you forget to do until you import your photos and you can't find them because they're no longer chronological. So just take the time. Don't be lazy like me. Don't think I'll remember to do that later. Just do it now. Just learn from my mistakes. Number 3 is an extremely common mistake or oversight that people make, and that's not making a conscious choice to set your file format. I like to shoot in JPEG plus RAW. I'm not opposed to using JPEG sometimes, but when I go to edit a photo, I like the capabilities that a RAW file affords me. That means if the sky's blown out, I'm gonna have more room to bring down the highlights and things like that. And there have been times that I forgot to turn on the RAW file format. I go to edit a picture and I just cannot get those highlights down. The information is lost, or the information in the shadows is lost. You're losing the control over the dynamic range of your camera during the editing process, and you don't want that. So just shoot JPEG plus RAW. You can use the JPEGs if you want, they're perfectly fine, but if you need the RAW file, it's there. Number 4, this is something I always do to a new camera, and this one's a bit of a preference, but I always program my back button autofocus. I have an entire video on how and why I do this, but in short, it keeps you from having to press the shutter to focus and then press the shutter again. Here's an example of when you might want this. Let's say you're doing night photography and you want the foreground in focus, so you turn on your flashlight and you focus on that spot and then you take the picture. Now, if you have your shutter button also set to your focusing button, the next time you go to take a picture, it's also going to reset your focus. When you decouple your focusing with back button autofocus, it means you can focus with the back button, take a picture, keep your focus, and keep taking pictures. This is also a feature that works out really well for me in wildlife photography because I can use continuous autofocusing and just control the focusing with my thumb with one of these back buttons and then just shoot when I'm ready. I find it so much easier. You should try it. Tell me what you think. If you want to try it, you can just check out my video and I go through a bunch of common cameras and go step by step through how to set it up. So I guess I'm pretty helpful. Okay, so my number 5 setting that I change is also more of a preference, and that's setting my camera to continuous high. Cameras usually are set to a default of just a single shot. You press your shutter, you get one shot. I like to set it to continuous because I like multiple shots, even if it's a still scene. I found that in street photography, sometimes I go to take a shot and I move a little too quickly if I'm rushing and it's blurry. Look, I know I can sit there and take my time, but let's be honest, I never stop moving. I have issues and I like to just get 3 shots. Maybe something changes, maybe a bird flies through, maybe someone moves a little bit. I always like having more than one option, and that works out for me. So consider setting your camera to continuous high. Number 6, look, this is a preference, but I just think everyone should agree with me. I turn off all the beeping. I go through and I found out pre-focus beep, I don't need it. I don't want beeping and chirping going on. I like things to be quiet, if not silent, except sometimes I like the shutter to make a sound to alert the model if I'm taking portraits that a picture has been taken. It can get a little confusing if that's silent. But all other beeping and booping and chirping, you need to calm down, camera, and turn it off. Let's all turn it off. No more noise pollution. Okay, before I finish up and tell you the rest of the settings that I changed, I want to tell you about PPA, Professional Photographers of America, because if you sign up for a membership with PPA, you can get up to $15,000 of insurance coverage for your gear. So that means if you're fussing all of these settings and worrying about your gear, you should probably have it covered in case it gets damaged or stolen or there's a data loss. They also have a brand new members benefit called Find a Photographer. So it's a database that helps people find your photography business and you as a photographer. I filled out my Find a Photographer profile and was able to add where I'm located, a link to my portfolio, and a link to my relevant social media. You also get to show off your pictures to your potential clients, show a photo of yourself in a bio, and there's a place for you to put your photo gallery so your potential clients can see your work. I also appreciate that they have an FAQ section so that you can answer your clients' questions. So if you're looking for those insurance benefits, or you want more people to find you as a photographer, or you just need some help with your photo business, you can sign up for PPA and get $25 off if you use the link in the description and use our affiliate code. So thanks, PPA. Okay, let's get back to it. Number 7 is to use a large and fast SD card, and that's because it keeps your camera from buffering. What's the point of having that high frame rate if your camera is just going to start buffering right away when you're getting to the action, the meat of your photo shoot? I use a huge card, actually, pretty fast, and it's 256 gigs, and that's because I use my card for another purpose, and that's just backup storage. So I don't like to format my card every time, and I'll tell you a reason why. Not too long ago, Tony did a shoot. He went to load it onto his computer. He formatted his card, and then his hard drive crashed, leaving him with no photos. Now, if he had not formatted his card right away, if he just left his photos on his card for a little bit longer, he would have had a backup. It's just some nice redundancy. And if you're still unsure about which memory card to choose, we have an entire video on that as well. And Tony gets pretty geeky about things. Number 8, adjust your diopter. This should just be your first step, especially if you have glasses. So your diopter is this little tiny dial you've probably noticed. Let me see. And what it does is adjust to your vision. And the mistake that I've made with this before is that it can get hit or changed, and then you're looking through your camera wondering why everything's blurry. I know I'm not the only one that this has happened to, because some of you have written me asking what's wrong with your camera, and when you check the diopter, it's the diopter, and it's such an easy fix because you just spin a wheel. So you look through and make sure that it's adjusted well to your vision. If you're going to be shooting without your glasses, then of course you'll want to adjust it while you're not wearing glasses. If you shoot with your glasses, of course do it while you're wearing glasses. And if you don't wear glasses, I still do it because, you know, nobody's vision's perfect. Okay, and my last tip for what you should do to your camera is to just change your strap. It's so nice to just have a custom strap. I always go for a leather strap. I prefer them. This one's actually brand new, well, just a couple months old, and it was sent to me by Lucky Straps. So I get a lot of straps sent to me, and I usually turn them away because I like something pretty simplistic. But something really cool about the Lucky Strap is that it comes with this little quick strap feature, and it has a little locking mechanism and a loop that makes it easier to take your strap on and off when you want without it coming off accidentally. I also like the quality of the leather, and you can get this little piece here customized, which I think is pretty cool. So thank you, Lucky Straps, for sending me this. They actually sent us a bunch in these really cool little boxes, and they gave us an affiliate code so that you can get 10% off. So I'll put that in the description down below. It's luckystraps.com/Tony, and you get 10% off with the coupon code Tony, and it's affiliate link. So that means I will get some money. So I'm not trying to be sneaky here, but I really do like this strap. Okay, so I may have missed something. What is something that you change on every single camera that you have and you just need to change those settings to shoot comfortably? Maybe it's some of the settings on your lens even. Maybe there's something that I overlooked, but let me know down in the comments below. And once again, thank you PPA for sponsoring this video. If you have a photography business, or if you're just interested in the education, the insurance, or maybe even just setting up a page so people can find you as a photographer, you can sign up for a PPA membership when you use the link in the description below and use our affiliate link. So thanks again, PPA, and thank you to all of you.